So finally, we are on to the last part of the conference, the valedictory session. And I will introduce the speaker. Actually, he is with us right from the morning, from the opening session. But formally, I would like to introduce him and invite him on the stage. Manish, please join us on the stage. Please clap for him and welcome him on the stage. Manish Advani ji, he is a CEO of MIMO Potentio and a renowned storyteller. He has a record of, 8 TEDx talk and under his belt an experience at companies like Microsoft Canada, Jaguar and Land Rover and Mahindra Group. He is an award-winning speaker known for his captivating narratives. His leadership at MIMO Potentio reflects his deep understanding of the power of storytelling to drive change and growth in business world. There is a lot to tell about him. His association with many great institutes and universities like IIM Ahmedabad, New Jersey Institute of Technology, Stanford University, Harvard Business School, and many more. But one thing I would also like to know more about that I read from his LinkedIn profile is that he is known as coconut man of India. So I was very curious to know. I was not able to find in that short time, but we would like to know why he is called the coconut man of India. Please welcome Manish Advani ji, and we will have a photograph first and then he will. Unmesh bhai, tame પણ આવો.
I'm humbled by your kind words of introduction. I don't know what to say because I'm the last one. Between you and the final break, then it's, beginning of the weekend for you because it's a Saturday, so Saturday whole day you have been an amazing audience. Hats off to all of you because you all are amazing. I've been listening, how do we create value? So what came to my mind, I'm trying to be as impromptu as possible. A few years ago, I was invited in the Kingdom of Bahrain in the Middle East region, and there was a CFO conference taking place, not an HR conference, CFO conference. And after I was done with the talk, some of the CFOs took me on the side and they said, we are worried. And I was thinking of all the places in the world, what kind of worries they have in the Middle East region, where petrol is cheaper than water. That time it was, I think, 3 or 4 rupees, 2 years ago. So I asked them, what are the worries which are bothering you? So they are saying technology is taking over our jobs. This is the answer I got from them. Most of the things in the world of accounting are getting automated. We are worried that, what will happen to us in the future. So that time I had read a bit about blockchain. I don't know how many of you have read about blockchain in this room. So I had read a bit about blockchain. I said, why don't you explore blockchain? And the answer comes, one of the gentlemen was part of that conversation. He says, we are too old for this. And I didn't have a quick fix. To their problem which they were facing. So I just gave them, quick solutions which came to my mind. I said, first you remove the word old from your age. I asked them, what's your age? And one of them said, I'm 48 years old. Another said 50 years old. I said, my humble suggestion, remove the word old, replace it with young. The moment the word old gets in your head, then you stop learning something new because you feel you are old for this. Then, they didn't seem to be convinced. Then I said, have you heard of Colonel, the founder of KFC? So one of them said yes. So I asked them, at what age did he found a new venture? So then one of them said mid-60s. I said, if he can start a new venture in mid-60s, what's stopping you from learning something new when you are still in your late 40s or early 50s? Still they had, I could see, they were having a blank face. Then finally I said, what if this is the do or die situation for you in life? What will you do? What will you do if it's a do or die situation in life? Then two of them said, we are going to try our hands on blockchain. We are going to explore blockchain, at least they opened up. Now the thing is, when I got back to India, their worries were still playing in my mind. And I was thinking about them. I don't know whether they were thinking about me. So I realized, when I dive deeper into their worries, I realized their worries were linked to a certain set of obsessions. And that obsession was that what worked yesterday should work today, what works today should work tomorrow. And that obsession was creating limitations in their life and culminating in fear-like situation. And that fear was evident on their face that we'll have to go back to India. Our kids who have been, used to Arabic way of studying because they have English plus Arabic, how will they adjust in the new environment? Whether we will get a job in India or not, we haven't worked there since many years. So that fear was evident in their faces. So many a times in many organizations, I realize, there are 89% organizations which were there 30 years ago in Fortune 500 list, they no longer exist. Because they were conquered by similar wolf which they were experiencing. Worries, obsessions, limitations and fear. These organizations were not worried about things they should have been worried about because they were obsessed with certain mindset that what worked yesterday, it should work today. What works today should work tomorrow. And that obsession created limitations, culminated in fear-like situation. They had to file for bankruptcy or shut down business or their companies, merged with some other company. So similarly, in every organization, there is every individual in every organization experiences different kind of wolf, which if it's not addressed by the HR leaders of the organization, can stop them from achieving their full potential. And then can be detrimental for the growth of the organization in a fast-changing, disruptive environment in which we operate. So what do you think is the root cause of the problem in the wolf I talked about? Worries, obsession, limitations, and fear. What do you think is the root cause of the problem? Sorry, anyone would like to take the lead?
Fear, maybe?
Fear?
Yeah.
Fear is actually, it culminates in fear. It culminates in fear. You want to say something? The mindset which makes them feel, we get into the comfort zone. The more time employees spend in the organization, the more comfortable they start becoming in the organization. They start becoming part of the furniture. They know everyone from top to down and their peer group. And the more comfortable they become, the more riskier it is for them as well as for the organization. Because in the fast-changing, disruptive world, if they are not continuously embracing change, they are not changing with the changing times. Parivartan to sansar ka niyam hai. The time won't be, too far where they will be changed or their organization will get changed. Sir mentioned, right, here is a price war which happens in the chemical business, while fertilizer business is highly subsidized. But in the price war, the person has to be continuously on his toes, right? Otherwise, you'll lose the competitive edge. And I'm sure, you don't want to run companies which is making losses, and beyond a point where loss bhi kitna sustain karoge. So this wolf stops, and many a times I ask HR leaders, do you know how many continuous learners you have in your company? They have no answer. Do you know how many continuous learners are there who apply the learnings in their particular respective function? No answer. How many arrogant leaders you have in your company? No answer. How many people believe in diversity but are not inclusive? No answer. No answer. I know a guy, I know a gentleman whose name is Cal Raman. I don't know how many of you have heard of him. A lot of people talked about grooming, they talk about many other things. Cal Raman had come to Mumbai. He came barefoot, he couldn't afford a footwear. Somehow managed to pass engineering. When the HR was taking an interview, the face of the person changed looking at the person's outlook, external outlook. But somehow, he cleared the HR round, because he was good, he was genius. Second round, third round cleared, he got hired. The boss whom he was going to report to, boss said, boss, मेरे को सब जमता है, but ये आपका outlook नहीं जमता है, नंगे पैर आए हो. TCE में he had applied, Tata Consulting Engineer. Then he said, boss, I come from an underprivileged family. I can't afford a footwear. मैं general class में बैठ के आया हूँ, चेन्नई के बाजू में एक town है. From there I managed to get in the general class compartment, and my address in Bombay is Dadar station. I'm living in Dadar station. My suitcase is there, whatever bag he had gone. From TCE, he got into TCS, and then from TCS, he, worked in the US, and today is the global chief digital officer of Samsung worldwide. This is Kal Raman. Now my answer to many HR heads is, if somebody comes like this, many a time you would say, you will reject him before even perception. That obsession, the person has a certain look, person is from certain city. Only that person is capable. Do well with attitude, do well with anything else which comes with it. Many a times I ask HR heads, somebody mentioned, you mentioned about AI in recruitment, most of the things can be automated. So many a times, in the southern region, I ask people, they go for interviews in different campuses, different B schools, and I ask them, do you go to Coimbatore Institute of Technology? And then hardly anyone says, many don't even know about it. Chennai wala Chennai mein lega, Coimbatore kaun jayega? So then I tell them, my next question to them is, do you know from where the chairman of Tata is? He's from Coimbatore Institute of Technology. So I asked them, you talk about diversity inclusion, but the recruitment step by diversity nahi hai, because you are selective about from where you will pick up the people. So when that diversity and inclusion is not at the starting point, how do you expect to drive diversity inclusion throughout the journey in the organization? So many obsessions in the new age, unless we don't give up the obsessions, we will experience wolf-like situations. We won't be able to have the right talent because there are obsessions, they are grappling with their obsession. Then who can help individuals in the organization to deal with those obsessions? It's the HR. If HR changes in the organization, a lot will change across the organization. You can be a big business enabler, you can drive business, right? Somebody said management is like father and HR is like mother. Mother is supposed to be kind, mother is supposed to be, we've seen a mother, when a woman becomes a mother, she actually turns into a leader overnight, without going through any B school or any school. Overnight she turns into a leader, she does things which she had never done before, right? And that too in a customized way based on the child. Based on the child's pattern, she does everything in a customized way. Not the, oh, बच्चे के साथ ऐसा, oh, बच्चा 1 बजे उठता है, मैं भी 1 बजे उठ के अपने बच्चों को देखूंगी. नहीं, you get up as per, you understand that child's pattern, a particular child's pattern, accordingly you customize yourself. So it's high time if HR starts customizing itself and personalizing itself to the needs of every employee in the organization in a way, and with an AI and multiple technologies available, it's possible to do that. It's possible to do that. And if we are able to do that, the employee will achieve its full potential. The potential is usually at a higher level, but employees many a times function at a lower level. 99% employees in best of the organization are unhappy at the workplace. These are based on the surveys which have been done. Now, how do we address this wolf? How do we address this wolf? Worries, obsession, limitation, and fear. How do we address this? We need to have a willpower, a strong willpower to address worries. A willpower to come up with a grand vision statement and the mission statement on which, these employees are aligned with those statements. This building was founded, or this institution was founded by none other than Sir Vikram Sarabhai, who was a laser legend. Still we remember him on his every anniversary. He's a legend who thought far ahead of time. Vikram Sarabhai in 1950s had a vision. We want to be second to none in the world of space. This is the vision he had for ISRO, second to none. Many a times, lot of businessmen, third generation, they leave their business to party karenge, stock market mein dalenge. He left his business for the greater good of the country. Purpose, larger purpose you mentioned, Bhavesh bhai, some time ago. So that vision alignment made such a big difference. Today we are second to none in the world of space. In those days, everybody would have laughed at him. Bola, pagal ho gaya hai, snake charmer ka country hai, we don't have money, we are on the verge of bankruptcy, and you are talking about being second to none. And his mission was what? To be second to none. The mission was to uplift humans in the country we live in. His whole purpose, a larger purpose, was how we can uplift farmers to fishermen to everybody through weather forecasting. Every individual in the country leverages on the services of ISRO today, some or the other way. You might not even realize that. In monsoons, so everyone leverages on. And then open-mindedness, that obsession can be addressed with open-mindedness. Are people open to reverse mentoring? Are people open to giving up their arrogance? Are people open to moving away from the titles which get into their head, which make them feel they are the masters and eventually they end up becoming disasters? And that obsession can be given up through open-mindedness. Jamshedji Tata, I'm purposely taking the examples from the land of Gujarat. Jamshedji Tata, very open-minded person. continuous learner. When he was in college, his professor gave him an instruction, academic studies are not the final word in the world of knowledge. Open your mind, Jamshid Bhai, you will see lesson at every step so you can evolve and do something significant for your country. And look at what he did, Tata Steel, Power, Indian Institute of Science to Taj, all 4 projects, mega projects centered around the country, centered around the future of the country. And third is, we have, every individual in this room has limitations. We all have limitations. There could be some areas where you have limitations and there could be other areas where you could have limitations. Now if we leverage on each other's strength, many a time तो हमको खुद की strength नहीं पता है, दूसरों की क्या बताएंगे? Are we able to create a culture in which employees are able to leverage on each other's strengths to address their limitations? Many a time we laugh at others' limitations. इसको तो ये भी नहीं आता है यार, इतना भी नहीं समझता है, गधा कहीं का. Many I have heard people saying this. कितनी बार समझाऊं, same चीज समझा के थक गया. So instead of that, are we able to leverage on each other's strengths? And lastly, create the fear is something which is evident, which is inside, which is there in every individual in the world we live in. Fear brings tears, many a times those hidden tears which nobody can see. Are we able to address that fear by creating a culture of fearlessly expressing what individual is experiencing within? The insecurities individual is experiencing within, and the professional and personal front. The insecurity, my boss didn't treated me well. I don't get along with my boss. I might not be able to survive here. Many other insecurities. Fearlessly expressed. And India is unfortunately the BP, diabetes, heart capital of the world because people don't fearlessly express. They suppress a lot within themselves. And any doctor will tell you the root cause of the problem in this world is stress. It begins with a problem with blood pressure, goes to diabetes, then heart or a kidney problem, any other organ gets damaged. And we are the disease capital in spite of being the yoga and Ayurveda herb. We are the disease capital both percentage and number wise in the world. So to counter the negative wolf, worries, obsession, limitations and fear, we need positive wolf in form of willpower, open-mindedness, leveraging on others' strengths and fearlessly expressing. And you have an amazing example when it comes to willpower, Vikram Sarabhai. Then open-mindedness, you have Jamshedji Tata. Leveraging on others' strength, nothing other, we have Varghese Kurian. How he leveraged on the strengths of farmers. Farmers who are producing milk in small quantities, and he, took it to a complete different level. Amul is one of the well-known brands, top brands in the country. And finally, fearlessly expressing Sardar Patel from this very soil of Gujarat. Went to 500 plus kings who were ruling princely states, different states in different parts of India, uniting them for the greater good. He fearlessly expressed that this is in the interest of the country. Imagine 500 egos. यहाँ तो एक दो stakeholder नहीं manage होता है. 500 stakeholders. So we talked about culture, we talked about creating value. Unless we are not able to conquer the wolf, I can guarantee you we won't be able to create value till that time cows come home. So with this, I thought, I'll kind of summarize, in a nutshell, how we can achieve what have been discussed since the time you have entered this room. And these were, my few cents thoughts. Look forward to your thoughts and comments on this or questions you may have. Coconut wala story, wow. So, so I also, my background is not 100% HR, I would say. I've been in HR. I was mainly into marketing and public relations and eventually got into change management where I got the first break to work for the Indian Space Research Organization. And so before this, how I got that break is the coconut journey, which actually made a big difference. In 2016, there was a big fire in the Dennar garbage dump. I don't know how many of you know. It's Asia's biggest garbage dump. It's close to Chembur in Mumbai. And this fire had caused a smog over the city. The entire city was under a smog which was affecting every individual's health. So that time, this had become world news. People from all over the world were calling us. That are you doing okay or not? Whoever we knew, whoever came across this news. So that time, I had three options. One option was, to join the protest. There were many people who were protesting against the government. And second option was do nothing about it. Third was to be the part or be the change you want to see. So I decided to, take the third route. I realized the root cause of the problem of the garbage is waste. And I started promoting the concept of recycling waste in the neighborhood I lived. And while recycling the waste, I came across, coconuts. One day my wife said, "Abhi isko bhi recycle karo." So instead of recycling those shells, I started growing plants in those shells. And over the period of, I think, a month or two, we had 30, 40 plants, growing in our balcony, because we consume a lot of coconuts in the summer season. So that caught attention of somebody who writes for Chitralekha, a magazine which is published in Gujarati. So he came home, he said, "Ye aap, iske piche reason kya hai?" Journalists, they usually question you. So I said, this is my attempt. I'm trying to promote the culture of recycling waste, and this is something small which I'm doing at a micro level. So he did a story on it, and that caught attention of a lot of people. In fact, that time Gujarat government announced that all the nurseries in Gujarat will grow plants in coconut instead of plastic. So from plantations, I started promoting, helping organizations who were part of our clientele when I was working with Mahindra Group, in helping them reignite the artist and storyteller within. So that's a session which I do around coconut shells, because I realized, we leave our two friends behind when we are in third grade. One is artist and a storyteller. And the now world is talking about design thinking, and design thinking के दो पिलर है, वो है artist और storyteller. Visualize ही नहीं कर पाओगे, story नहीं समझ पाओगे, तो problem क्या solve करोगे? So I started doing sessions for many different organizations which are well received, and then in one place, someone said, "Why don't you, make a house out of shells?" So I said, I'm not an architect, so I hired somebody and requested the municipal corporation to support us. So they said, "We'll support you with the shells and all the materials required, but effort has to be yours." So they did that, and we created a prototype of the first house made out of shells, which won award for India in the House of Commons in the British Parliament. And when we came back, all the media, all of them started writing about our work, Better India, Your Story, to Hindu Business Line, Times of India, many others. And then one of them gave me the title, which was Coconut Man of India. We invited to Rashtrapati Bhavan during President Pranab Mukherjee's time. So this is... in nutshell, the coconut story, how I got that name, Coconut Man of India. Thank you.
Any questions? Any other questions? We can take one or two maximum. Okay, fine. So let's give a thunderous round of applause to Mr. Manish Advani for this wonderful session. This WOLF acronym will always remember in our mind, WOLF in a negative way and WOLF in a positive way. Wonderful acronym. Thank you for giving this.
So in fact, I would like to add the last point, in every organization want their employees to be tigers. Tigers hunt individually, they work in silos, but while wolf hunt in packs, they complement each other in, ensuring that they are successful in their mission.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manish Advani, and on behalf of AMA, we would like to hand over a token of love to you. Unmesh Bhai is here, so I request Unmesh Bhai to come forward and just hand over the memento to Mr. Manish Advani. It was a wonderful, very apt closing to the HR function. With this, we come to the close of the annual HR conference, and I hope today was the day where you found some takeaways which will really help you to be better HR professional. And there were number of tips ready to use information and techniques which you can directly go and apply from the next working day. Thank you very much for your participation throughout the day. I thank AMA and particularly Unmesh Bhai, Parth Bhai and the whole team of AMA which helped create this wonderful HR conference for all of us. And for the final vote of thanks, I invite Unmesh Bhai to come forward and give vote of thanks. Thank you, Unmesh Bhai, for this opportunity.
Kamal Bhai is a person who has attended almost 18 or 19 HR conferences at AMA. So let us give him a big round of applause. He is a person who is marking his calendar every year and will check out the website of AMA and will ensure that he is here for this one day for learning. And that learning attitude, he is then translating it into his profession as a trainer, as a consultant, as a support system to many organizations. So thank you very much, Kamal Bhai, for being with us. There is a token of love to you, for you also. This memento which we are giving is also made of bamboo. Once again, a concept of sustainability. Any mementos which we are sharing over here, either it is in terms of book or this kind of a concept. So that is how we are translating the thoughts into action. Of course, you might see some plastic bottles over here. I am yet to receive some good alternate suggestion to replace plastic bottles and bring out something new, because I am attending here daily 1,000 people. And if I give a glass bottle, then I will have to hire few more housekeeping people, each and every person behind one person, because glasses are meant to be broken. So come out with some good suggestions. Anything and everything is possible over here. Special thanks to Manish ji. He came specially for here with us for the whole day for his valedictory note. Sandeep ji, all the speakers, Jyoti ji, all the speakers from morning to evening. And the best part of AMA is it is 5 o'clock and my time is up. My team member is saying, sir, हम लोग laptop बंद कर रहे हैं, दूसरी event में जा रहा है. So thanks to Manshika. Of course, she is also reminding me that, sir, feedback form ભરવાનું બધાને યાદ અપાવજો. Because નહીતર પાછી meeting એમની જોડે થાય કે બધા feedback કેમ નથી ભરતા. અને then there is also an answer that those who will fill up the feedback form will get the certificates also. And this is how the HR has to be. Friends like Bhavesh Bhai and couple of our common bosses and mentors, those who with whom we have worked, they have taught us two common words for being an HR. એક આંખમાં કરુણા ને એક આંખમાં કાનૂન, આ બંને જે બેલેન્સ કરે એ સારો HR હોય. So with the note of Karuna and Kanun, thank you very much for being with us. Special thank you for all the professionals who were here. We want to work for you and we are for you. So please do give us suggestion. These feedbacks are very important for us. This subject, this theme, these speakers, everything is based on subject. We are just the face of that decision. So do give us suggestion, do give us feedback. Keep coming. Manish ji and everybody, Mr. Sundaraman from morning to all the speakers, they want something to be done for you. So my next communication will come with you for their training sessions, for their leadership training sessions. Do encourage yourself and your organizations to participate. Thank you very much. I took 2 minutes extra, sorry for it. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.